Ryan, good to see you. Today, we get to start with a really meaty question. What is a good monthly retirement income? So, let's start with some data. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average annual expenses for people 65 plus in 2021 was 52,000. That comes out to about 4,000 a month. But of course, no two people are alike. So, figuring out what you will need will depend on your lifestyle, your unique retirement goals, and so much more. So, let's walk through some prompts though to figure out what that number will be for you. And the first one, you need to picture your ideal retirement and be as specific as possible.
Yeah, and this is so key. This is the first thing that you need to do because when we hear these statistics like about $50,000 or whatever they are, these are averages and such. And for some people, the amount you're going to need is going to be much less. And for other people, it's going to be much more. It all depends upon the lifestyle that you want to live in retirement. What do you want that to look like? And it's important to get crystal clear on that as much as you can, especially today, compared to maybe a couple generations ago, because now today people are living for perhaps 20 or 30 plus years
Right.
in retirement, and people are healthier for that longer period of time. So, getting clear on what you want your retirement to look like, that's really the starting point for sure.
Mhm. Next, you need to know what you're spending now. So track your expenses and create a spending plan.
Oh, I think almost said the B word there, the budget,
Budget.
right? Very few people that I talk to actually want to put together a budget. I understand it's painful for most folks to do, but here's the thing, and here's why I am a proponent of putting together a budget before you plan to retire. And that reason is simple. It's as simple as this is one of the things that really helps to give you that confidence to spend. Because so often I find the people that have been the best savers over the years have the hardest time spending. And
Yeah.
then people retire and then they go, well, I know I can live on, yeah, we did the planning and everything. We can live on X amount of dollars, but maybe I can live on a little bit less. And the problem there is we don't want to get into, retiring maybe in our 60s and now we're in our 80s. And now we're looking back going, well, gee, I wish I would have spent more money earlier
Exactly.
because now
Right.
I realize I'm not going to spend it all.
Right. Really good point. You also need to account for common risk factors, including inflation, longevity, and changes to Social Security.
Yeah, those are all big ones. There's all these different things these contingencies, I call it, that we need to account for. Certainly, inflation, right? If you're going to be retired for 20 or 30 plus years, we have to account for what's that going to look like over time, and how much more money are we going to need. One of the key things here is our healthcare expenses. This cost has been going up at about twice the rate as overall
Right.
inflation. So that's one of the things to get a handle on. Certainly, Social Security has its troubles. It's projected to they'll have to cut benefits in about 10 years from now, and that of course assumes that nothing changes between now and then. But are
Mhm.
they going to make modifications there? And if they do, where are they going to get the money? Are taxes going to go up? How is all this going to play out? So we have to plan for all these different types of contingencies.
Mhm. You also suggest building a robust and also tax diversified nest egg.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you've done a really good job of saving. Sometimes what I find is some people have saved a lot, but it's all in pre-tax retirement accounts. And on the one hand, it's good because you've saved a lot, you put yourself in a good position. But the part that makes it kind of challenging is that now when we go to withdraw this money, if it's your only income source or outside of Social Security, perhaps, or perhaps just at least your primary source of income, what's going to happen there is that all the money that you withdraw is going to be subject to ordinary income tax. And so if you can have it set up so that you have other buckets of money, such as sources where you can access money tax free, and other sources that are maybe in taxable accounts where those are taxed differently. You have long-term capital gains, perhaps, which are going to be taxed less, as an example. So it is important from a tax diversification standpoint to have all that planned out.
Mhm. And last, determine if you want to leave anything behind. And working with a financial advisor, it can help you with legacy planning.
Yeah, and this is important too. In this varies across the board because for some people, and there's nothing wrong with this at all because it is your money. You want to spend your money, and maybe your feelings are, hey, whatever's left, that's just what the kids will get, or the grandkids will get, or whatever the case might be. But you may be maybe want to be more intentional about it. Maybe you do want the kids or grandkids or a charity to get specific money. And then the question is, okay, which assets should they inherit? What is the best choice from a tax standpoint is certainly one of the things that needs to be considered there. But how are you going to do that? How are you going to, plan to give yourself the best life there in retirement? Enjoy your hard-earned money, and then if you have that goal to pass money along, which money should you pass, and how much, and to who, and all that kind of thing.
Right. It's so important to kind of talk through these prompts to reach that number. So, Ryan, if somebody would like to do that with you, crunch the numbers, what's the best way to reach you?
Welcome to call 714-462-9155. Also can go to the website, kravitzfinancial.com. Go to the contact page there and just submit a message.
Great. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you.